What's up, comic and pop culture fans? This is James of Midhunter Comics, and maybe you saw earlier this week I did a video exposing and myth-busting some commonly labeled rare comics, and we found that they're not really such. But a lot of you wanted to know some actually rare comics. So here's 10 of my favorite. I'm actually going for so rare that for every entry on this list, it is either known or believed that there are less than 100 existing copies. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below just as you did for that other video. I've got a Kirk, Spock, and McCoy action figure set for you here. That will be decided randomly to one of your comments down below. Let's get it started with Wolverine 145, the Bone Claw Error variant. So there's a few variants out there that have foil covers where the heat wasn't applied properly and the foil didn't really stick. This is one of the most famous ones where apparently if the foil doesn't stick, it just comes out as white. And actually it kind of looks like bone claws. Ironically, within the story is Wolverine gaining his adamantium skeleton back, but this particular variant is extraordinarily scarce. The existing copies that are found do show very small flecks of silver, so it definitely is a error variant, so the foil didn't take. Normally, printers would simply disregard these copies, but a few made it out to the public. Interestingly, CGC denotes it with a green label due to the lack of foil. Next up is Captain America 212, the 35-cent error variant. This is the rarest of all 35-cent variants. As of today's date, only 11 copies have been graded in any manner of condition. It not only has a 35-cent price tag, but the whole Marvel Comics group in the yellow bar at the top is completely missing. So it's very clearly an error. They caught it and didn't distribute it. But somehow a few here and there did make it out to the public. This is another one of those books that just a few survived being pulped. So it's really crazy rare to actually find one of these. The next one is going to be Swamp Thing 11, what we call the Suggestive Tentacle or Penis book. This is the only one on this list I have actually owned, and unfortunately I sold it for way less than it was supposed to go for. That's on me. And you'll hear just how rare it is in a second. All issues of Swamp Thing 11 were pulped when the editor noted one of Arcane's tentacles looked a little dickish. Even though it was caught before distribution, some copies have been found. Like I said, I actually had one. There are only 2 graded of these with CGC, and it denotes a recalled edition. This is notoriously a nightmare to find. It's unknown how many exist. It could be 10, it could be 20. Who knows? In 2014, Raphael Albuquerque actually sent Scott Snyder the original art with the penis tentacle there. So if that ever goes to auction, that's actually going to be a cool piece of history there. In the meantime, good luck finding it. I don't remember who I sold it to, but do not sell it, buddy. Let's go a little TMNT with Turtle-mania Special number 1. We're talking about the gold copy. This one is exactly known because there are 10 copies. Now, what's particularly interesting about this is the 5th one of the 10 is the missing link. 1 through 4 and 6 through 10 are fully accounted for, but it's this missing 5 that's going to have a special level of rarity because it's been missing so long. So guys, if you're watching this video and you are that person who actually has that, please make it known you've got something really special. In May of 2019, number 7 of 10, graded a 9 by CGC, sold for $58,000. Can you even imagine what a 9.8 would do? Don't forget the silvers are also pretty darn scarce too, but it's the gold one that takes the cake. Next one is a recalled issue I've mentioned on this channel before. That is Universe X, the Spidey number 1 recalled edition. This alternate universe Spider-Man book was recalled after it was discovered that Al Milgrom had hidden libelous comments about Bob Harris within the issue. Already cover A is really hard to find. Today we're talking about the Dynamic Forces variant. What a great segue to talk about the sponsor of our video, ironically, Dynamite Entertainment and Dynamic Forces, which right now you can use the code MINTHUNTER10 to unlock 10% off your first order on both the Dynamic Forces website and the Dynamite Entertainment website. So go nuts with it. Exclusively through Mint Hunter Comics, you can get this awesome discount. And as they always say, have a dynamite day. Just a heads up, this particular issue isn't gonna be on the website. It's shockingly rare because just like cover A, this one got another printing and recall. So if you find the Dynamic Forces recalled copy, you've got something really, really special. I've never seen one. It's kind of almost a myth at this point. Next up, we're going to talk about Miracleman 3D in 2D. There's so much working against this that makes it so unique. So the standard version of the comic was produced with 3D effects by Ray Zone and included 3D glasses. It had a high print count at 40,000. They also included a double-priced 2D. Why would the 2D be twice the price as the 3D, with only 100 copies available? So obviously, if it's going to cost as much and not get 3D glasses, basically nobody bought this thing. To make it even more rare, in 1986, Eclipse had a flood, and it's presumed that some of these 100 copies of the 2D version of Miracleman 3D got destroyed. There are only a few copies found and known of this to this day. Over 10 years ago, in 2013, the 9.0 CGC, which is number 23 of 100, sold on Comic Link for $2,500. That was over 10 years ago. It would be much more now. Good luck, you're not finding it unless it's at the bottom of a river. Let's talk about the Mission Impossible unedited Lady Cruise version. The comic, set to coincide with the first Mission Impossible movie, left Tom Cruise disappointed with how he looked on page 3. Copies were fixed to update the character design, but in Canada, all the newsstand copies kept the original unedited look. But Canadian direct editions were primarily all fixed, except for a tiny handful. Very few have ever been found and furthermore sold. If you want to get your hands on one, go for the newsstand. That's going to be far more obtainable, as the direct edition may be an impossible mission. See what I did there? Again, the newsstand Canadian copies aren't that rare, but the direct edition copy that's unedited is crazy rare. Next up, we got to talk about the Evil Ernie Octagon editions. Another one where there's less than 10. We actually know the exact number of these. There are 8. Not all of them are accounted for, though, so if you have one, let it be known. Check out this advert from Chaos Collector's Corner with some various Octagon editions, each being sold for $100. They were all signed, they all came with a COA, and they were leather-bound comics. Really weird, but pretty cool now that we know how rare they are. Current sales data, it's impossible. So I couldn't really tell you what the heck this thing is actually worth. They're essentially impossible because they never really resurface. Evil Ernie fans and rarity hunters have this listed as a bit of a holy grail. Second to last is going to be the Bloodshot Pink Gold prototype. Here's one entry in which it may only be the one. The Pink or Gold Error Edition is more interesting as it has elements from the standard edition, meaning the price, but it also has the title color, gold, from the Gold Edition. CGC notes it as a gold printing error manufactured with a pink logo. Its status as a one-of-a-kind issue was actually confirmed with a source that was working on the issue at the time. The comic, the single one, graded at a 9.6, sold at valiantfans.com for $5,100 and $500. So at this point, we're going from rare to just actually impossible. And speaking of impossible, we gotta mention, obviously, you knew it was gonna be here, the very famous white Lethal Protector #1. I've talked about the black variants before, so as you know, it was a red foil cover, but there were some error variants that resulted in an all-black background. It's not wildly uncommon, but it's certainly not easy to find. But there's presumably one white variant where no foil, no ink, no nothing got stuck to the cover at all, and it's an all-white background. There's a 9.6 of it, and I really mean it because there might not be any others, and it sold for $8,066 in 2018. Buyer beware, this is one of the most reproduced and counterfeited books of all time within the hobby. So if you ever do see a white Venom Lethal Protector #1, it is very likely fake. Okay guys, I think I gave you some actually really rare stuff here. What do you know that has under 100 existing copies of. Drop it in the comments down below. Don't forget about the giveaway. It's going to be a Kirk, Spock, and McCoy action figure set. I'll see you at the next video, and keep on hunting. Make sure to come on down to Sentiment Depot's Antiques and Collectibles, located at 238 West Delaware Ave in Pennington, New Jersey. Find so many great books for just $1 and the lowest prices on key comics around. Enjoy a huge selection of graded comics priced up to 20% lower than current fair market value. We are open from Wednesday to Sunday, closed Monday, Tuesday. You got a collection you want to sell? Bring that too. Can't wait to see you there.